This morning we started out in front of the Food Lion, gathered there, got back in our cars, drove over fairly quickly to the detention center. We're able to walk behind the center. There was a wonderful religious service, a Holy Thursday service. The people who were risking arrest stood in the front of the gate. Sarah, Joe, and I don't remember the pastor's name from Chapel. Isaac Villegas carried out a beautiful service. Many of us were there. There was a lot of give and take. We did some foot washing. Then we began to sing, "We Shall Not Be Moved," in Spanish and English. We went up to the front to deliver a letter for our demands. They didn't open the door. They weren't very welcome up there. So, and then we sang songs. We came back, and I saw an extraordinary thing happen, and I'd like the Trail of Dream Walkers to come up here and talk about that. There was a ICE agent there with his uniform on, and the 4 young people who are undocumented, who've been walking since January from Miami to D.C., they intend to get to Washington, D.C. on May 1st, were dialoguing with the agent, the ICE agent. They've got on their shirts undocumented. So they're talking to this man in a very respectful way. It was one of the most beautiful examples of nonviolence I've seen in a long time. So I want Gabby to describe. This is Gabby. She's one of the Trail of Dream Walkers.
Different than the rules of man. They're still people. And they still hurt and they still have family. And so the approach that we take, and we've taken since day one on this walk, is that approach. And we've always, what we talk and when we say where we're walking, we say it's because we love this country, because we love mankind, and because we want to be recognized as human beings. And so without fear, and without looking at him as an ICE agent, rather as a man that happened to be working there, we approached him to talk to him. And so Felipe, being very brave, knowing that the consequences of being arrested could mean being deported to Brazil, he approached him and started talking to him. And just saying, you know, I just wanted to present myself and put a face to the numbers. Put a face to the issue that is impacting millions of people across the nation. And so as we started talking to the man, we saw that he was kind of getting a little bit defensive because, you know, there was a lot of questions being asked towards him.
And a lot of cameras.
A lot of camera, so we practically surrounded, you know, it was one against all of us type of thing. And so we toned it down because we realized that he was going to get defensive. And so we just talked to him like we would talk to the priest, you know, or a friend, and said, "Hey buddy, come on, you know better than this. You know, this whole thing that you're talking about, oh, I'm just following orders. I go to the Congress, go to those that make the change and difference." We were like, no, you can make the change. You can make the difference. Because that's what we're doing. It's the people that when they unite and they work together, we can make the difference. So I think that the struggle that we're in always has to begin with yourself. Right? And being able to find a way to liberate yourself and learn that we're human beings and that who we are is important and we must respect that. And we must not be afraid or scared or saddened of what's happening, but rather take that to have the courage to stand up and ask for help and work together as we've been doing for the past couple of days. So thank you for the pilgrimage, for allowing us to be ourselves and to be part of this liberation process.
Thank you. There was no middle school at our hometown, so I stopped school for a year, and then we tried to figure out different ways so that I could continue my education. My father had been coming to the States since the early 70s. I have a brother and a sister who were born here then, and he decided he would bring us all to the States so that we could continue studies, work together, and we always hear, well, if you come to the States and you work hard, you study, you can accomplish your goals. It's the American dream. You can stay together, and we won't have to suffer from the lack of food. So half the family went across the border legally as they were citizens or residents, and the other half, we took our chances under the bridge running and undocumented. Years later, well, we did go to middle school, high school, and throughout school I thought, well, if I make really good grades, I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to go to a college. And I didn't know much about universities and how you apply and get financial aid, but I'd hear from my classmates about applications and getting all these loans and going on to a university. And I remember thinking, well, I have the grades, but why do I need to go on? And that's when I heard Social Security, you have to be legal. I had never put that into the equation of going on to a university. How was that going to affect me as I wanted to accomplish my goal of the professional. I remember working on the fields with my mom, and she would always say, you have to pay a lot of attention at school. You have to have really good grades if you don't want to work out in the fields the rest of your life. It'd be a lot easier if you study, if you work really hard, and later on, after you go on to college or after you study, if you can get a job somewhere indoors, have an office job or something like that. After high school, I did find that I was able to get into a community college. So I enrolled at Waytech Community College. I got an associate's in human services. At the time, I had several job offers because of previous experience volunteering in the Hispanic community, volunteering at clinics. And once I graduated, I found that no one would hire me because I did not have a Social Security number. So it disappoints that you've worked so hard, that you've heard for many years, you've heard, if you work hard, you're gonna get this. And you're like, well, I've worked hard, I've done everything that I could, and I can't do what you told me because I don't have a Social Security number. When I was 18, my mom remarried to an American citizen. He filled out an application for my mother, for my younger brother, and for myself. My application was denied because I was 18 and I needed to be under 18 to qualify for residency. So it just been months. I had just been months away from being eligible to get residency. I'm a mother of a 9-year-old, a sister, I'm an aunt, a daughter, and to all of them, they're citizens or they're residents. And there's so many loops and holes in the immigration system that it's not easy, even if you try to find a line, even if you do work hard like you're told, even if you do behave, even you don't break any laws. There's not really a pathway to many of us to get that residency, either because you haven't been here long enough or because you've been here too long. And or it doesn't matter that you're a mother, it doesn't matter that you're a sister, it doesn't matter the economics in your country, it doesn't matter why you really came here. And then they put this illegal alien title on you, which I think it's meant to not only dehumanize you by putting that alien, you don't relate to us, you're not a human being, and then you put illegal, criminal, which I think it's so that people will fear you, and we're not. We do get smugglers, people trying to cross drugs, but I think that that is not the case for most people. I think that we have a lot of mothers that are here for their children. We have a lot of children who are here for their parents, and a lot of siblings who are working hard for their siblings. And thank you for all of you who are here, and because none of this will be possible without the interest and the support of people like you.